Hey guys, how are you? So today we're gonna do a siege battle. Here we have uh, Anthony's Rome, who's manned by myself. We have Kazuwazi, who's my ally, who's manning the Kush, which is an incredible army as well. And we're attacking the Suebi, which are manned by. Oh, it doesn't tell me who it's manned by. All right. Um, that's strange. Oh, anyway, it's fine. So we have the Suebi and we have Athens. So without further ado, let's start the battle. We started. Oof, wait. Started outright, just moving up the siege towers and shooting the walls. This placement was very bad. They managed to destroy my siege equipment really fast. But we'll get to that later. My ally also moved up from trying to flank this area with two opposing flanks. He's bringing an army of shuttle warriors, which are honestly some of the best infantry in the game with regards to armor penetration. He has. I'm not sure why he kept his other siege tower here, probably for his reserves. So, shuttle warriors themselves are, I think, the best heavy infantry in the game. However, so you can see that they have a very good charge bonus, very good melee defense, decent armor, but yeah, they do back quite a punch. But these guys, the armored Shoto, they're just so good. They manage to do so much. One single unit can go head to head with the Praetorian Guard. From my end, I am bringing quite a simple army. My army is Evocati cohorts and veteran legionnaires. Um, on both sides, I'm attacking with two Evocati cohorts and two veteran legionnaires on that side, and this side is three Evocati cohorts. No, two Evocati cohorts and three veterans. Then I have some archers. I have some auxiliary Egyptian archers, which are just super cheap and really useful at just flanking the enemy because they're really fast. I have then just a massive army of just Evocati cohort in reserves. So I have 6 units, including my general. I have some Syrian archers, which pack well up, and they're very good close combat as well when they run out of ammo. And Cretan archers are arguably some of the best units in the game, range units. And yeah, so my ally instantly gets on the wall, and he's faced with a significant force here of Suebi. Now, Suebi are an interesting choice because they are quite weak as an army. However, they have really strong bow infantry, and you can see them here. So this is gonna really hurt my ally. It's gonna massacre his troops on the wall, and he has artillery flanking him, which would, yeah, it ended up killing. That was a massive hit. It ended up killing most of his uh, armored total actually. 30. Well, it killed 30, but still, that's quite a good shot. And he's taking the walls here, trying to cap the tower. Perhaps it would have been wise if he attacked from here, from back here as well. This part, and he would have been able to just charge in from this side as well. But he seems to be doing quite a bit of damage. We have swordmasters, which are very strong. They're an incredibly strong line of defense. Spear wall from hex bearers, and yeah, just their called spear wall. Launch swords. In reserve, we can see that there's more hex bearers and Wuda spears. On my end, I'm attacking forward, and he has thorax swordsmen, which are incredibly good. This is an interesting shot. He put the cavalry out, and I decided to charge him. I don't know why he did that. That must have been a mistake from his end. Managed to start neutralizing this. This was my mistake. I didn't notice that he had mercenary Cretan archers here, so I took my time, and he ended up. Well, you'll see in a bit. He has. They're out of. I think he has some shield bearers and picked hoplites, which are fantastic units to hold the line. He tried to block me with historic swordsman here, but I charged down as fast as possible. So he has more Toclus Torx Hoplites here, and he has Torx Swordsman. Yeah, so he's gonna throw a lot of infantry in at me. Trying to hold my line while he shoots me down with his vast army of archers. This here was a mistake from my end. I committed way too much, way too quickly, and these people are gonna get slaughtered from the side. As you can see, they're falling like bugs, but nothing to do about that. On this side, there's a nice charge. He's sandwiching my men, but I managed to exit just in time, and I broke through his formation. He was suffering there. Meanwhile, I don't know where these Taurus swordsmen are from. I think it's these guys. Yeah, it's these guys. I don't know what happened, how he sent half of them up here and half of them down there stayed still. At this point, my ally is struggling. He has been pinned on the wall. He's trying to move forward. His siege towers have been damaged, and he's limited in how much he can bring up. And these round shield swordsmen, they're really weak infantry, but you know, they're doing their job. They're holding the enemy in place. I believe this was a mistake on his end, trying to come through this side, not running up here and killing the berserkers. Yeah, see, he's putting his berserkers up there, so he's gonna have struggle quite heavily on this end. The round shield swordsmen are breaking up really fast. They're getting massacred by the armored shoten, which is to be expected. On my end, we noticed that the veteran legionnaires are getting slaughtered. They're just getting massacred by the Cretan archers, who are currently 200 kills already, so he's just destroying this part. You noticed I killed most of his cavalry, recovered it, trying to hide it from me. And I decided, yeah, it's no point in coming up here. He'll block me with his Torx swordsman. So let's try and break down the gatehouse while we're at it. He has some pikemen ready back here just in case I try to move in. And over here I'm struggling to keep my veteran legionnaires alive. So I break off from this battlefield and I start charging forward. I also decided to put some archers on the walls because this is just direct into their backs. I should start firing at any point now. That is a good shot. That is a good shot. There you go. I don't know why I was using fire arrows. It's not the smartest thing to do, but because my infantry unit there was sucking a lot. As you can see in the minimap, we spread the enemy out as much as possible, trying to overtake the city. However, this assault here is not doing so well, and but at the same time it's tying up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units while I'm trying to break through to the main area. I would have rather just left 2 units there personally and marched all the rest to protect the square, so I'd be able to still keep an eye on that wall, but at the same time provide the support needed on this side. Same thing here, he's picking my army bit by bit on the walls and trying to surround me. We still managed to get a foothold here. Another thing that perhaps would have been smart to do, and I think I started doing it here, but I don't know why they're walking so slowly, is march up some units and start burning down the gatehouse. I lost my artillery way too early, it's my mistake, with the Greek ballista, so I got to suffer a bit there. My allies started his bombardment with the heavy onager, and he's trying to damage as much as possible the bowwomen. At the same time, he's moving forward his pikes and his archers forward to try and just start provide some supporting fire. His last unit of Shotel warriors is moving up on the wall. He's gonna try and hold the line. At this point, my ally realized that he was going to lose. He had no chance of beating all of these troops and have anything left, so he was just making sure he's tying up the entire enemy army here, and he's doing a defensive retreat, basically. A battle of attrition. These berserkers are really strong. The other option would have been he'd come here, all the way here, take this, and just walk in, but he did what he could. On this side, we missed out a nice charge by the enemy, who is getting his big hoplites, which are the most elite unit of the Greeks. I believe they have 120, 115 armor, 105 armor. They're very good. They have decent charge, decent melee defense. So if he manages to surround my units and flank me, these units are gonna fall really fast. But at the same time, he's trying to flank me here. It looks like I'm not gonna be doing well. So I tried to send some units on the walls to try and flank him myself. So it was us trying to do our best to outflank each other. At some point it becomes a triple layered sandwich, honestly. Quite interesting, to be fair. Quite interesting. Uh, I'm trying to see where it's best to put my archers. And at this point, I think I start target firing these guys from over the wall. Because I needed to do something and I needed to do it quick. His units were breaking, he was reforming the lines, but these guys, they weren't doing so hot. They were struggling. He was trying to reposition, and yeah, it wasn't going well. I'm not sure why he put all these barriers down, but later on they might be useful for me. I mean, these guys are being fired from their flanks from archers, and they're just not feeling it at all. So this is probably a lost battle for me. On this side, I've managed to break through the gates and started attacking historic hoplites. This one unit of Thorax swordsmen did work. I didn't kill much, but this unit of Cretan archers here, no, these, where are they? 300 armed, heavily armored units. Heavy shot from the back, direct line of sight. Oof, that is damaging. Let's hide these bad boys here. So I was thinking, I get a couple of units down here and just flank him, see if that breaks him, but I don't think it worked really well for me. These units, meanwhile, just shattered me. My legionnaires did well, they held their line, gave me enough time to get some Evocati cohort down here and try to hold him at the wall. Meanwhile, my oh, they're still coming up. My Syrian archers should be coming up at any point. And as I told you earlier, my archers were firing into this blob here. I didn't have that many troops. My units had more armor than them. So I was like, you know what? Let's go for it. These guys were going to lose anyway. But because of my intervention there, I think I managed to hold up pretty well. But at this point, my ally is just desperately telling, can you break through, please? Because I'm struggling. He honestly did a really good job. The defense was impeccably strong. The defense managing to pile up so many units in this area, really good. It's hurt me the way my ally... The fact that my ally could not form his ranks outside the wall was the main problem. He couldn't get off the wall, so he lost a lot. And we got an army that the idea was the walls would be uncontested, as currently that's the meta on Rome. They don't contest the walls as much. They usually hold an army. They would have held this place and this place. So we got an army that we would be able to just flank them from all sides. But they decided to, they saw our army composition and they decided to come at us. This was a very stupid mistake from him and his end. He exposed his back and you can see them dropping like flies. The amount of men he lost on this pile up here was too much. He realizes, he tries to do another charge, but it's been too late now. Plus my units are defended with this the stakes. So these Thorax are not long for this world. But meanwhile, these Thorax hoplites are waiting in reserve, and he has Thorax swordsmen, lots of Cretan archers left. Over here, I am collapsing. My unit is winning, but he's gonna flank me now. Oh no, he's actually... Oh, okay. He's actually gonna try and attack my archers, which is a smart move for him. But at this point, I have done the damage. I have took control of this location. I have engaged with his big hoplites here, pinning them down. He is doing something very smart again. Like, he's been using his archers incredibly well. It was indeed a worthy foe to fight. So I decided to run away, maybe put some obstruction between my troops and his, because otherwise I would have lost that entire unit. But again, see what I mean? Once we got on the ground, we were able to move and have maneuverability, whereas on the walls we were just sitting ducklings. And we were massacred one by one. as soon as this unit breaks, the idea was I have 1, 2 units in reserve, which isn't much, but those 2 units of Avocati cohort are going to be the reason why I will be able to fight on, because at this point my army is heavily exhausted. I mean, yeah, these 2 are heavily depleted. This one is almost full health, but again, quite injured. And this one is in decent shape as well, but again, it's exhausted. It's been fighting for a long time. I managed to break off his thorax swordsman here, but instantly he's coming in with more veteran hoplites, which are incredibly cool. I mean, look at those shields. And he's charging at my rear. I am not sure what my Avocati cohort were deciding to do. They should have provided a decent assault, but yeah, I think something glitched here and went wrong. Plus, he had his archers providing support, and that was not a good idea. He realized that over the side he had it on control, so he finally got his pikemen out. And yeah, if his pikemen managed to take a hold, I would not be able to finish protecting this area. At the same time, his thorax swordsman managed to attack my archers. My Syrian archers got a bit of damage, not so much. But at this point, my Egyptian archers were depleted, so I just sacrificed them and said, there's nothing I can do. Oh, I forgot I actually had another unit here. It isn't showing. So yes, I have a few units left, but not so much. The gatehouse is mine, so now at any point I'll start transferring my units through. He lost his picked hoplites here because of my archer fire, and then I decide to fall back. The Suebi decides to start sending troops on this side because he realized he is pretty much won. But that was his undoing. Because of him sending some troops there, my ally was Kaziwazi was starting to take a foothold and finally put some armored Chote units on the ground. They will still be taking lots of fire from the Chimbri bowwomen, which are incredibly strong. I cannot stress how powerful this unit is and the damage it has done. And this Suebi decides to put the last remaining troops here as a line trying to protect the victory point. Yeah, the victory point is still heavily defended. I mean, they have still more pikemen, they have more archers, and he's trying to do an organized retreat here. Yeah, the Thorax Swordsman would fall soon. We have the Cretan archers, but it would have been wiser to just use all my ammo as much as possible on the pikemen. Here, take them out. Because pikemen late game, oof, the damage they can do. My Avocati cohort are alright, but now they're dead. Death is coming. The archers are shooting point blank range almost at them in the back, and there's nothing I can do. I mean, I wanted this part of the battle to be a distraction, which it did. It kept half of his army there, but I lost also 4 units of my best infantry, which is not the best thing. Here we're struggling because for some reason his pikemen did not want to die, even though I was shooting very heavy units into them. And I noticed that my unit of Cretan archers, much later, I'm noticing now, he was focusing me with his own Cretan archers, and it was not going well for me, let's put it like that. At this point, we're just facing off each other. I'm trying to see what my ally is doing. He's telling me, wait for me, I need to get organized. The pikeman's broken, he fought on the wall, and he's sending his armored shuttle in the back to try and surround and finally break the Suda spearmen and the spear wall, the hex bearers. If he manages to break those, he would have a chance to just come down. Well, however, he also is sending, he's gonna have to deal with these berserkers, which are some of the scariest units in the game. I mean, look at them. Men wearing wolf skins and bear skins. I decided to charge into his water spear because they were medium spear infantry. I was like, oh, they'll break easily. I was so wrong. This charge here was costing me a lot. I'm not sure why the mercenary hoplites were not flanking here. He probably thought well, if he did flank me, I would have flanked him back and created a hoplite sandwich. This was a very bad idea of mine. I saw them out of position. I said, I'm gonna charge them. I killed a few, I damaged them, but in the end, they only got 4, so I guess it's alright. But these guys have been doing some work. As you can see here, my Cretan archers have been annihilated. but there's nothing we can do. At this point, it's just posturing from my end. I was trying to break through this wall. At the same time, I was thinking I should send units around to try and control the flow of battle, forcing my enemy to retreat. Um, Firing at hoplite shield walls is not a smart thing, so I was trying to break him out of formation, bait him, move my archers around, but it was not working. It was not working whatsoever. There's nothing you can do sometimes. It just happens. Um, I managed to get all my units inside the walls. My auxiliary archers are still alive. My giant Roman ballista infantry are hanging out here and just chilling on their own. I don't know why they were still up there. They were useless. I mean, this was a waste of gold, 700 gold units. I mean, it's if I managed to do break the wall, I would have managed to get quite a few good pot shots, especially in this area, because I believe this was the range of the enemy of my artillery, but I didn't manage to break through. Finally, his unit starts to thin down slightly, and he starts to lose. But somehow, 2 units of veteran legionnaires and a Vogata cohort against a Buddha spear, and my units were pretty much losing. But you know, you do what you can do with what you have. My general is inside the fort, and he's rallying the men. He's honking the horn and trying his best to provide some morale for the enemy, for my troops to kill the enemy. My allies managed to get his pikes back and is charging against the Chibi bowwomen. Um, Unfortunately, his pikes are not in formation, so they do not have any. No, he charged his pikes without having lances, which was a very bad idea. The Suebi player realizes this and tries to pull out, but he gets clipped. This is why the Chibi bowwomen are so strong. They get these spikes, these lances out, and they are so good. My ally should have put them in pike formation now at least and try to kill as many as possible. Here, my ally just managed to finally clean off the enemy army. He has his onager, which I think his onager did quite a good job. Yeah, it got 109 kills, which is alright, I guess. And he's trying to get the last of his troops on the wall. He still has his Royal Kushite archers, which are, I think, one of the best archer units in the game. I mean, look at those armor. Quite interesting unit, honestly, for a general. Because one wrong charge and it's strong. And here we catch it. Here we catch the enemy cavalry, the remainder of his cavalry. He's charging my archers. And I did not see this coming whatsoever. I end up losing an entire unit of archers here. Just one go, he just flattens my last remaining ammunition. And I was going to save them for a volley or two into the enemy. I did not notice, and he ended up just killing all of them. Yeah, he shattered them really fast. By the time I noticed, and I sent some troops in. At the same time, I had finally managed to break the with a spear, so they really held their line and finally broke through this wall. So at this point, my ally is retreating as fast as possible. He is holding a pike wall in front of my Vodkati cohort. They're facing off. Look at them face off over here. And he's just trying to reform the line. He realized he lost way too much, and he does not have yet enough troops to fight what I'm going to send his way. However, at the same time, my forces are heavily defeated. My ally has almost nothing left. All his units are very badly damaged, and I think it's at this point the Suebi player just dropped. Unfortunately, he dropped from the game, so he could not keep fighting as he was, and some of his units just, yeah, the AI for once is not charging forward, but decides to hold back and form a defensive wall here. But it's unfortunate because it was the best thing possible. Here, I managed to trick the pikemen to move out of formation, and I started sending some troops here quite soon. He was falling back entirely, trying to set up a defensive formation here and see what he could do. In all, the Athenian does not have much left. He has pikemen, he has veteran hoplites, he has picked hoplites, I think 2 units of Cretan archers, and a slightly depleted pikeman unit over here. So he does not have much, but all we have on this side is 2 or 3 veteran avocado cohorts, my general, which has not yet seen blood on his swords, and then very depleted units of infantry here. It's going to be down to the line, and at this point, we're just going to fast forward a bit to try and get to a position where we are fighting. We were moving up, trying and attack this assault, but since we realized that I was not gonna be able to break through here, and by the time I moved my troops up here, he would have reformed, and I did not have enough troops to split my armies up. In this part here, I tried to do something really cheeky. I noticed I had a very small unit of veteran legionnaires, and there was a gap here. And no, this is not the glitch. In fact, they actually stopped for a second, and I think one of them dies, but most of them just passed through. I had some Pila left, so I was throwing the Pila, trying to thin the lines. The Athenian noticed immediately what I was doing because I had flanked the pikeman, and he got my veteran legionnaires. They are gonna suffer. I think they killed 1 or 2 units, but they did not manage. Again, I tried to move through the gap. It didn't work. I clicked a few times here, and that's it. So there's nothing I could have done there. Meanwhile, my ally is moving his units up. He's trying to clear up the rest of the chibi bowwomen, which I've done their job. And I've moved the general of the Athenian is here, so I'm trying to see if I can snipe it. My ally at this point realizes that he can capture these towers and contest it, and he goes in for it to try and surround the Athenian, and at this point he's so trenched in his formation, there's nothing we could do. The battle has 10 minutes left. For the next few minutes, boom. For the next few minutes, we try. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. We tried form up, and then we see this beautiful charge here by the Avocati cohort, who are charging into the back, apparently into a tree. But I managed to find his pikemen in the wrong direction, and I took this juicy charge. My units are very tired, but this is what I want. This is what I needed. This is what I needed. I managed to get his pikemen from the rear. If I break these guys, I would have won quite a lot. It was a charge that was worth it. I charged again. I was not going to let them form up. I was going to lose some troops, but I had no choice in the matter. These pikemen had to die. If he survived with that pikeman, he would have formed a shield wall, which I would not have been able to deal with. I sacrificed the remainder of my archers to try and hold his archers at bay, and try to hold his veteran hoplites at bay, because these pikemen need to die, and they are falling really fast. They were 120 men just a few seconds ago. We charged my cohort, which were 150 men, are falling like flies. We are fighting a pike wall. I could have technically used my archers to fight here, but I believe this is, at this point, I need to kill as many of his archers as possible. These Cretan archers have done work. 300 men have been killed by their bows and arrows. And at this point, his pikemen have fallen. My Avocati cohort are heavily injured, but his pikemen are pretty much faltering and going away. I attacked this side, and I managed to form again, sneaking through. The AI noticed, and he attacked me. I threw a couple of peel into his lines, and they sent 2 full health units berserkers, which are suffering against my cohort, against my shield wall, but this was a full health cohort, and it's now getting slaughtered. The AI here glitches out, unfortunately, and is not able to play out more, but then again, he has nothing left. He has heavily injured hex bearers, and 1 unit of water spears here, and another unit of water spears there. If anything, the Suebi player would have formed a line back here and trying to hold. My cohort here, this is a mistake from my end. I should have retreated, let them rest, but they decided to charge into a full health unit. They're not full health, they're actually quite injured. 126, but still, the veteran hoplites are gonna destroy the exhausted hope. cohort, and my Syrian archers and my Cretan archers have not managed to break through the Cretan archer line. I have no idea what happened there, but it was just trying to stop his army and distract him. The picked Hoplites general went on a hike. He's taking direct hits from an arrow tower and still not getting any damage whatsoever. At this point, I noticed that he had one berserker left. I tried to kill it, and he pushed me back quite a bit. I was quite. I mean, I lost like quite a few units here. I used quite a few units here. This was 150 men. Now it's 100 men. But it is the exact thing I need. I can flank him now. I can flank him, and he notices this, so he sends in his exhausted Cretan archers to try and stop me, while his general makes it back from here. At the same time, on this side, he's managing to break me. My units are holding, even if ever so slightly. It's important to note I made a mistake here, as always. I did not manage to kill his pikemen, and they are over here reforming as we speak. The picked hoplites are coming back into view, and my ally is trying to form his final charge. He unfortunately just has Royal Kushite archers, and 51 and 85 armored shuttle units. He does not have much. These armored shuttle units are already breaking as we speak. He has very little left, but he's gonna try and do what he can do and march forward. I noticed he was trying to kill my general with archers, so I went into Testudo formation. I think this was a misclick from my end. I sent my Roman giant ballista units, and they got slaughtered. I think I wanted them to do the same thing as my legionnaires did before. Some of them did indeed pass through, but at what cost? At what cost? The Cretan archers over here, they're doing their job. They have exhausted all their ammunition. They're holding my line off while the picked hoplites make their way over. The picked hoplites, if I do not manage to break these Cretan archers in time, which I am doing, and these picked hoplites manage to come here and reinforce, I would not have been able to break this at all. So this is his intention. He's trying to send everything he has into my units. He has a couple of units left. I said, this is all or nothing. Let's go in. We have to do it. We have to do it now. This unit over here, again, heroic Cretan archer unit, is staying there. Everything he has left, he's bringing to this line. I charge into his line, and I start cutting down his pikemen from the side. The picked hoplites charge into my line, and they're forming together. The mercenary Cretan archers are almost shattered, and at this point, it is just a massacre. My general is putting all the buffs he can, and he's trying to hold the armies from breaking, my army from breaking, while breaking his as fast as possible. His pikemen, I'm attacking him from the side, not the best charge as possible, but now there is the space for my units to start passing through. And once I manage to get a little bit of formation here, I will be able to pass. Meanwhile, the remainder of the Kush army is moving forward. He's charging, and he's going to try and take the center, the victory point. There is not much left of the Hexbearers, the Berserkers. The Suebi has all but lost everything. They just have this one unit of water spears, and it is trying to hold. The archers and the remainder veteran hoplites are trying to reform and help the Widow Spears to hold the center, but it could be all for naught. He still has some archer fire left, some ammunition, but it is not much, and he's trying to do what he can. On this side, my unit of Roman Ballista is still alive, even though they charged into the pikemen, and he's trying to hold the line with his general, the picked hoplites, but this is where I said we have to go in, and I charge in my last two units of I've got a cohort, and I try to break the enemy's line. I saw the pikemen that were starting to break. At this point, I believe I saw the unit of pikemen at some point coming from this side. This point, yes, the Athenian notices that he has very little hope left. I'm thrown in everything I have. It's all or nothing. We have to defeat him now. The Kush pushes forward, but his units are breaking. The arrow fire is keeping the Kush at bay. He's trying to form a pike wall with what he has left, and he's trying to engage the veteran hoplites with anything he has left, trying to hold as much of the army while I break through the elite units of the Athenians over here. I had some Pila left. He tried to reform, but the pikemen broke, and the army losses can be felt now. We're moving forward. It's 2 minutes of the battle left. It is just a clean-up crew. We're trying our damn best to finish this game as fast as possible. The balance of power is still quite balanced because of how tired my units are and how weak my ally is, but we're doing what we can. I believe the pikeman broke and shattered over here on this side. Yes, there's in fact they're nowhere to be seen. These veteran hoplites did very well, I must say. My Avocati cohort are struggling, and I'm trying to flank the picked hoplites. They are breaking, but they've held the line. They have held the line, and they're doing very well. I believe my general unit. This is my general unit. No, my general unit came over here. Yes, my general unit came over here. I tried to flank him, and the veteran hoplites attacked. The pikemen reformed here and tried to come against me, but it's too late, and the armies are shattering. My ally has nothing left to fight. He's capping the center, and he's trying to take control of what's left of his army and charge in. The general from the Athenian died, and this is GG at this point. We are shattering his troops unit by unit. I just charge in like a madman to try and remove the last remaining water spears, and the veteran hoplites here are gonna get flanked by the slave Kushite archers and the remainder of the shuttle units that are wielding some incredible blades. There is nothing, not even with this armor, that they can do. They have killed a lot, they have done their job, but it is too little, too late. He invested too much into this battle here for the gates, and unfortunately for him, he did not succeed in holding me back. I believe the biggest loss he got was the charge, where he committed 4 or 5 units to this area, whereas he should have held the main gate. As well on this side, he kept half of his army occupied by just a minor part of my force, and it was a costly victory. Thank you very much for watching. This was fantastic. As you can see, I had quite a large number of kills, and my ally was holding the line. He had much less troops. He had 800 troops less than me. He decided to bring heavily chevroned rank 4 shuttle units. They have carried their weight. They have paid they forced the enemy to pay for every single one they lost. They killed 3. The normal shuttle units, whereas they usually do much better, did not do so well, nor did the Kushite pikes. However, it was situational because he was very much countered by the way the Suebi played, which was very good for the Suebi. Whereas with Rika, he did very well. He fought to the last man. He had very little left. He did very good with his archers, especially with these archers and the Cretan archers. The cavalry didn't do so good, but it did manage to shatter this auxiliary archers, which had a lot of ammunition left. And yes, overall, it was a fantastic battle. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this. And if you'd like to see more of this is an experiment for me. Just tell me. You could send me your playthroughs on the email, which is attached in the description below. I could try and cast it. This was a first time experiment for me. I quite enjoyed it. It was quite very fun, especially seeing my own game and analyzing it and checking out in retrospect what could have done better. It was educational. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely evening, or day, or morning, wherever it is. Linksy out.